President Trump decides, due to the government shutdown, he will use tariff revenue to fund WIC programs during the shutdown. Think about how creative of a thinking this is. Robert.
Correction, 300 million of the tariff money is going to the WIC program. But that's not what I wanted to talk about. Let's talk about it.
Is this a clip of him saying that?
It's actually just a quick news update about it.
Go for it.
Promise breaking moments ago, more than $200 billion coming into the coffers in tariffs, and now we're learning where some of that money will go. The White House has just announced that the Women and Children Food Program will not be cut off while the government is shut down. Some of the money.
Yeah, when you're looking at this, Trump said the tariff will use to keep afloat a federal food assistance program for nearly 7 million pregnant women, new moms, and young children during the government shutdown. The program known as WIC was expected to run out of money soon because Congress has yet to approve a federal spending package, the fiscal 2026, which started on October 1st. The National WIC Association has predicted that the program funding would last only a week or two into the shutdown. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt announced the tariff idea in a post on X. Democrats are so cruel in their continual votes to shut down the government that they force WIC program for their most vulnerable women and children to run out this week. She wrote, thankfully, President Trump and the White House have identified a creative solution to transfer resources from Section 232 tariff revenue to this critical program. Eric, your thoughts on this?
I may take a different tack on this than maybe a lot of people at the table. I think it's great politics on Trump's part. It's great politics and horrible policy. Here's why. I'm never, ever going to be a fan of this tariff situation that he's decided to put into play. I'm a free marketeer. I'm straight up libertarian. I think we leave our equity markets, all our markets, financial markets alone. They're the crown jewel of financial markets around the world. They've created insane wealth for the American people. Stop playing with the free market. It would take care of itself. The tariff changes the dynamic. But I know why he's doing it, because Trump likes the power of having that tariff over foreign leaders. Like, he's using it for just about everything, to negotiate peace with wars, to negotiate deals, to negotiate almost anything he wants. Now he's going to use this tariff revenue, which $200 billion is not a lot of money given what he's actually doing. It's too much interruption into the markets. We'll talk about why gold prices are exceeding $4,000. I believe it has a lot to do with tariffs. I think he's using it to say, hey, look at this beautiful opportunity to take care of women and underprivileged people and children with the money that the Democrats are holding back because of the shutdown. He's using it as a political, a gun to the Democrats' head. Like, you want to mess with women and children and minorities? Well, keep the government shut down. We'll throw them some money from tariffs. He also said at one point he was going to use the money to send back to American households, $2,000 to some households. He's using it as a political ploy, a tool, which I don't. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
Do you agree with Eric?
Yes and no. I understand the headline. It's great politics, a horrible policy. I'm also free market, but the tariff situation, I agree with it from the standpoint of let's lever and correct unfair counter tariffs that are around the world. I agree with that as a political threat, but then get them off, turn them off, and let it get everybody to the table and get everybody to cooperate, and then back off. That's what I feel about it. Now, I happen to think I agree with Eric in that the president's doing a very good job of what the Democrats usually do. Oh, thanks to you and the shutdown, and the shutdown's all because of your guys. Guess what? Because of this program, people won't get their EBT cards in Boston. And
question, where do you think the majority of the money for the tariffs comes from? Do you think all of that money comes from the foreign countries in which he's using the tariffs to lever with? Some of it, but most of it comes from American companies who have to pay more to receive the goods from the other countries where the tariffs are imposed upon. What do you think the common practice is for those companies who have to pay more? They raise the prices on their products. Who pays those prices? You do. I do. So the money comes from us. It's another tax that ultimately we have to pay, but in a different form. Another question to you. Why is the government shutdown happening? In short, the Democratic Party wants to extend federal subsidies that allow low to middle income Americans to afford insurance premiums. That was their stopping point before agreeing to the budget plan for this fiscal year. And Republicans didn't want to do that. They wanted to put the government back in session, and then they could negotiate from there. So in other words, Donald Trump's blaming the Democrats for protecting us. The same us that are also paying those higher prices from those tariffs. Now, I'm not saying the Democratic Party is a saint party. I'm not saying that. But that's the thing. So when you hear their rhetoric is the Democrats' fault, that's why. They're sticking a line in the sand because they are trying to protect people who cannot afford insurance premiums instead of letting the Republican Party just bulldoze over them and do whatever they want. As you can see with already the cuts to the federal programs when it comes to health insurance and medical services. Okay, now hold that thought. If you don't know what WIC is, it is a program for mothers to basically afford more food for their children. My family has been on in the past. It's great, especially for milk. Oh boy, they give you all kinds of milk. At least they did when we were on it. It's a very helpful program. So if you see people saying that Donald Trump is saving WIC with this plan of using that tariff money, American money, our money, agreed, it is a good thing that there's money coming from somewhere, but it is one of those problems where said person starts the fire and then temporarily puts out the fire and then blames the other person over there for the fire. Okay, hold that thought. The reason why I wanted to bring up Americans paying the majority of the tariff money, the money coming from us, I have to be careful with my words here because there's a distinct difference. Social democracy. When you think of the Nordic countries like Sweden and Denmark, they have a social democracy. And one of the key aspects of a social democracy is a pro-welfare state. Views a regulated capitalist economy as workable, provided it is managed and balanced by a strong state and robust social safety nets. Redistribution and welfare focuses on using high taxes and state spending to create a comprehensive welfare state, universal healthcare, education, pension. So, with Trump using our money to fund WIC in this way, he is indeed feeding into that practice. The funny thing is, I don't know if he realizes that. Now, I don't know if I have a problem with it by itself, if it was transparent and cohesive, if that is what he intended to do, but I know it's not. He's just using it to make his decision on tariffs look good and to make the Democratic Party look bad if you're not paying attention. I just find it funny because he's doing something that really, it'd be really cool if this country did move toward more of that kind of system. They seem like they're doing pretty good over there. I kind of want to encourage him. Like, yeah, you look so good, Mr. Donald Trump. You should do more of that. But it would have to be, again, transparent. Like, I think it's different if, like, the American people knew about it. Like, that's directly it. Like, hey, you know what? That tariff stuff, it's actually just a higher tax. You're paying more on goods, but you're actually feeding more into social programs like WIC. I think it'd be a different story. I'd be all for it. Fine, right? But there's more than just that, too. This is a short-term solution, for sure. Because, again, it's not cohesive. There's not, like, a system in place. He's just taking the money that they've gained from the American people through those tariffs, using this as a band-aid just to again prop himself up so he doesn't look too terrible. Oh, and this up here is just me comparing democratic socialism and a social democracy. There's differences. Democratic socialism on the left side, social democracy on the right. As you can see, they are quite different, but they use the same words in a different order. You learn something new. My whole point of this video, though, is again, don't just take things at face value. I've seen people supporting him and be like, oh, you see Trump's doing good things, and it's only surface stuff. They're not really digging into it. They're not looking into it. They're not understanding the details, the implications. They don't care about that. They just care about him looking good. I'm like, no. If he's doing good, that's great. But if he's doing bad, we need to know. We need to be informed, understanding what he's doing in the short term and how it is affecting both the short term and the long term. If you see any of those government videos talking about the shutdown, you know a little bit more. Now they can't lead you by the nose. So there you go. Let me know what you think. And yeah, we will talk later.